to know that what's inside of you is like grandmama's greens. So don't give up. Your time is coming.
What's up, family? Welcome to Matthew 77 Project, Season 1, Episode 3. AK, do you want to tell them what we're talking about today?
I would love to. So today we'll be talking about godly attitude and mentality in the workplace.
Yes, Lord. Hey, be sure to follow us on all social media accounts at Matthew 77 Project and YouTube as well. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, comment. Hey, we hope you enjoy. Hey, be blessed. Welcome, family, to Matthew 77 Project, Season 1, Episode 3. We got a good one for you today. I'm Samuel, a.k.a. Mr. Lionhearted.
I'm Armani, a.k.a. AK, and on Instagram, I'm at authentically.ak. Make sure you follow me.
I'm just Dom.
I got a word for you, Dom. All right, so look. Today we got a good one for you, talking about godly mindset in the workplace. Dom, I think it's best if you top this one off and just get us started on this conversation.
Okay, well, I think that the first thing we should cover is answering the question of what is a godly attitude, right? Mm-hmm. Because before we can go anywhere and show that, you want to have that just overall, right? So a godly attitude just reflects your awareness of God's presence in your life, right?
Right.
When you know God is with you and God is really in you, the way you think about and the way you see things is totally different. Like the way you wake up, the way you view rainy days, like all that stuff. Like,
oh, you do that too?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, it's been raining all week, and I cannot lie to you. All week I have been like, thank you, Lord, for the rain. I've been praying for a lot of stuff. I've been going through, not major things, but I've been going through, my little go-throughs. Mm-hmm. And every time it rains, I'm like, it's washed. It's washed.
I like that. I like that.
I was just saying that to my kids in the car the other day, or I may have been talking to my wife, or all of them, I don't know. But I was saying, rain causes things to grow. Rain washes things away. Mm-hmm. Like, God really intends for us to look at stuff like that through a whole different perception. Like, this is not, oh my God, it's easy to feel tired and all that, because we're not going to act like we don't feel that.
Right.
When I crack the window, I'll be like,
it's raining today.
My bad.
Lay on back
down. God, you get snuggled in.
Right.
But when you have that awareness of what rain represents, and that water washes things, and, the cleansing, that help pick you back up. Like, I'm not down no more. I'm not going to let myself be in that, that lazy, that don't want to do nothing state, because I'm excited about what this rain is doing.
Right.
Like, wash me, cleanse me, like, cause things to grow, like, make these seeds that's been planted sprout. Like,
right.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Hey, that's dope.
I like that.
I've been walking around smiling, like, going into establishments like, man, it's a good day today. They like, what? Whole tsunami outside. Like, yeah, washed everything away.
Yeah, for real though.
Oh, so man, that's good.
Yeah, that perception, that's what embodies a godly attitude. You don't look at stuff the way everybody look at stuff, like
instant victory. Like, you have to know that I am instantly victorious in every situation because of my godly attitude. Mm-hmm. Your attitude alone ain't gonna last. Your attitude alone is like a roller coaster. But when you have that godly attitude, it's like, even when I want to do this, I do that because my attitude is shifted. Right. I hear a lot from Bishop, and he says, we don't want to, just do what Christ would do, but we want to be
exactly
how Christ is. Like, that's the goal. Because if we are like Christ, we don't have to worry about what would he do. It's like, and I'm like him. I don't have to think about the other stuff. It's like, I'm just gonna be like him, because what he'll do is already in me. So, yeah, But yeah, godly attitude is knowing that, you know, you're victorious in every situation and knowing, you know, whose side you on. That gives you authority. You know, I've never been like a little brother, but I heard stories about little brothers and how they feel. You know, I can do whatever I want because I got a big brother.
Right, somebody
Right.
backing me up.
I can say this, I can do this, and I'm gonna go get my big brother if you say anything different. So it's like, you know, having that attitude. Now, you know, that example ain't the best example because, you know, that's some reckless stuff. But I don't know. I feel like following Christ and being a true believer, sometimes you got to get reckless. You know, controllably reckless.
Radical.
Right.
Yeah.
For a good cause.
Right. I think also a part of having a godly attitude is having like a restful spirit. Knowing that, you know, everything is okay. Now that ties into knowing that you're victorious, but having a restful attitude and, you know, mentality is it's not getting overworked and overwhelmed by, you know, the things of life. Because things happen, life happens, but, you know, when you can be restful, you know, calm in the storm,
Peace.
yeah, that peacefulness, it means a lot. It means a lot. I heard an illustration a long time ago of a bird, you know, sitting inside a waterfall. And, you know, the waterfall like raging, it's loud, you know, and birds, they fly away. If you stump the right way, they fly away.
Right.
But to see a bird in the middle of a waterfall, it's like this at peace. It's like, I see that and I be like, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
In the middle of the storm, in the middle of all the noise, just knowing that, God, you got this. You controlling this atmosphere. So I'm not gonna freak out, you know. So it's bad when the person that's supposed to be helping you freaks out, you know.
Right.
You ever be on a plane and like if the plane going down and the flight attendant like we going down, like you the flight attendant.
You're supposed to be keeping us calm.
Right.
You're supposed to be knowing what's going on up there.
Right. So having that restful attitude because people watching us, they looking at us. And, you know, we get a target on our back once we proclaim what we proclaim. So we have to understand that all eyes are on us. So it ain't faking the funk and acting like everything good. But it's like even when everything is bad, showing people how they should, you know, move. You know, don't freak out. Don't get, you know, overwhelmed. I know it's easily said than done. But when you feel that overwhelming, you have to remind yourself, I am a child of God. And nothing that comes against me is going to prosper.
You got to cast all your cares.
Right. We don't do that.
I know I used to didn't do it either.
We don't do that. We say it out our mouth because it sound good. Lord, I'm giving it to you. And then but I'm going to hold it. Like, it's yours,
Right.
but, you know, it's that, hey, Debo, can I have my bike back? Keep it at my house.
like,
It's going to be
go
both of
for
ours. Like, nah, let me have it. So, you know, this casting all your cares, that's good, AK.
Right.
AK, I just thought about something, and it's long overdue. But amongst us, you are like our mental health expert, and I know you don't like that. I know you don't. You feel like I put you on this pedestal.
Yeah,
But I really like to highlight and make sure that you know how much I respect and value what you do.
Thank you.
Because what you do isn't an easy thing, and the things you care about, most people, everybody should care about. And they don't. But mental health is important.
It is.
And for you to care about your own mental health is a step. Like, that's important. Care about your own mental health. You need to be sane. You need to be okay. But for you to say, I care about my mental health, but I care about yours too, that's a whole nother level. And in this month of May, and knowing that it's mental health awareness, I think it will be beneficial if you can give people a couple quick tips that they can do daily, you know, just to keep their mind up, you know, that upkeep, that daily maintenance that they don't have to think about too much, but they should be doing to make sure, you know, they don't wait till they in the red zone before they start thinking, you know, about, you know, oh, it's danger. All I'm seeing is red. Now it's time for me to focus on my mental health. But it's like, we need to, you know, do that before we get in the red zone. So, if you don't mind giving people some tips.
I would love to. I don't mind at all. So first things first and foremost, stay prayed up. We could go to God for anything. It doesn't have to be anything so big. Nothing is too small. literally everything. I go to God about everything. God, I'm overwhelmed. And that's all you got to say. You ain't got to really say too much, but just the fact that you're taking it to God, that's all that matters. He waits for us to take things to him. And you don't have to know how to say everything. You don't even have to know how you feel. You could just say, God, I feel out of place. Or you can, your daily prayer, God, keep my mind. God, keep me aware of my mind and that I'm making the right decisions to keep my mental health in order and in place. God is not so high where it's just like we can't talk to him how we talk to our friends and stuff like that in our family. So make sure you always go to God first. Secondly, keeping your area tidy, because your outside is a reflection of your internal. So when you're already down in the dumps and then you looking around and everything is dumpy, you're going to feel dumpy even more, if that's even a word.
Right. We're going to make it a word.
Right.
I don't know who Webster is, but we can make words too.
In my book, in the book of AK, I don't want to feel dumpy.
Right.
And sometimes, you do get to that dumpy stage. And it's like, if your outside is the same way, that's only going to just add fuel to it. And then another thing, making sure that you have, where is it? Fire?
I'm just thinking because basically what you saying is if you dirty.
That's not what I'm saying. If you
I know you ain't mentally stable because you dirty.
If you unorganized and you got stuff everywhere, that is a reflection. Or even if it's not like how you feel at that moment, at a point in time, you're going to become that. Like, you become your surroundings. It's just like who you hang with, you can take on those type of characteristics and personalities. Just how the same, how you living can go inside your internal.
That's
and
good.
like, so that's very important. Like, even if it's just every day getting up and making your bed. So when you come home, it looks nice. And then also making your bed is like an act of gratitude. And gratitude also helps your mental health. You're focusing on things that are good instead of always worrying about what's bad, but just taking time to really show gratitude. And gratitude is it's so big, but it can be so simple. Like sometimes I wake up, I just say, Lord, I'm just thankful for this bed. I'm thankful for this pillow. It takes your mind off of the negative.
Right.
And then another thing is making sure you have a support system. If the people in your circle, you can't tell them I'm having a bad day, you need a new set of people. That's not cool. And
That's
if
good.
they always trying to question you and you always down or why you feel like that or that's too small to be worried about, them ain't your people. Those are not your people.
And you know what? I feel like that people love to say other people judge them. And I'm not one to say stuff like that, but I honestly feel like when somebody questions why you feel in a certain way, I feel like they judging you because they expecting you to feel how they need you to feel in a certain moment. And we need to rephrase how we check on people. So it's like, even like in this show, if you walk downstairs and, you had like a certain look on your face, I'm not going to be like, why you looking like that? It'd be me really thinking about you like, oh man, it must be bad out there.
It's always the approach.
Right. Like igniting something in you that makes you express how you feeling without me questioning why you looking a certain way or why you talking a certain way. Cause then you instantly feel, you get that anxious, like you judging me feeling. Like how am I looking? Like you want me to look like how you want me to like, then you might not say it out your mouth, but them the feelings that rush to you. And it's like the person saying why don't mean no harm. But at the same time, we have to be more mindful of how we check on each other. So, we already...
You know what? That's why, especially for believers, because, right, we call to care for people, to love people, to look out for people. So that's why prayer is so important for us, because that's something that you should be constantly praying about. Like, Lord, fix my attitude, right? Give me that godly attitude and a certain sensitivity so that when you approach people, you're not looking at it from a mindset that don't reflect that you care, right? Like, when I dealing with my wife who is emotional and sensitive and those type of things, if I'm not careful, I'll be going about something or looking at something that she might be feeling and not thinking, because I'm a man, you know what I mean? Go at it a certain way, and now I done shut her down or turned her away. And it could be like that with anybody, not just intimate relationships. So it's important to pray about that too, that we have a certain sensitivity so that we can be proper support for other people. Like,
That's good. That's good. And I have been in a place like that as well, and it makes you really check yourself because we don't realize how much power we have in dealing with other people.
Right.
Like with their emotions,
influence that
you
we
know,
have.
yeah, it's like you don't understand. It's like you say something a certain way and they get tight or they get, you know, uncomfortable and you get upset because they tight and uncomfortable. But if you take a step back and it's like, dang, like you care about what I say that much where it make you feel that way.
Right.
Maybe I should be more mindful of how I talk to you. Because if you care that much and it affects you that much, I need to come at you at a way different way.
Right.
Because I don't want you feeling like that.
Exactly.
Sometimes we have to understand that every issue is a you issue. Like I heard somebody say that and it blew my mind. And at first I was like, what? What you talking about? If they did this to me, then that's them. But it's like, no, every issue is a you issue. Like you got to deal with yourself first. Like
Always.
why you feel like that? You know, they said whatever they said, but godly attitude.
Right.
Why you letting that affect you like that? And again, that's easier said than done.
Right.
But it's like when we get to that place where it's like, hey, look, what you said hurt me. I don't like it at all. And back in the day, I would hit you in the mouth.
Right.
But my godly attitude is telling me to be righteous and to stand up and say, hey, I love you. I don't know why you move like that, but I love you. And, you know, it's okay to disagree with somebody and, you know, love them from a distance. I mean, sometimes you got to do it, you know.
Yep.
Sometimes
Real
you got to do
distant.
it. And the godly attitude is knowing, you know, who you are, what you have to do, and then the mentality and, you know, on the mental health side is knowing that I got to love you from over here. Like this putting that all together because you don't have mental health or a mentality without God. So it's like, just like AK, you said, you can't be mentally healthy without God.
Right.
People need to stop preaching that, you know, you can fix yourself by yourself.
Exactly. Or that just because you have God, it should be nothing wrong with you. Or just because you believe your mental health should be fine, you should have faith. But you're still human at the end of the day.
Yep.
And those words, I don't think people really understand and know how to, you know, put their faith at work. It's something it's ritual. Like
Right.
it's we get in that motion of saying, you know, I believe God, I'm gonna have faith. You know,
But what are you doing?
Right.
To show,
right.
show.
Yeah, what they say, faith without works, ain't that in the book?
It
Faith,
is.
It's dead.
Yeah,
So
It
it's,
is.
so it's like,
what
you
it
know,
say.
people read that and perceive that in their own little way, but you have to do the work, you know, with the faith. And the work is always going to be different pertaining to who the person is and what the work is, but you have to do the work. You know, faith is just one piece of it.
Can I
Like-
expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
I'm so glad you said that because, like how we mentioned, a lot of people think because with God, you shouldn't need like therapy and other type of.
I used to be one of them.
Yeah,
people, I
like
will
you
admit.
think like, oh, you got God, you don't need no therapist or stuff like that. But I really believe that therapy is the work part of the faith. Like, so for instance, with me, I believe God that I could be healed from anxiety. I could, you know, have more control over my mental health and stuff like that. And yes, I pray each and every day. That's what really got me and led me to going therapy. Because without prayer and without everything else, it would have been over. So yes, prayer did keep me. But then once I put my faith and my prayer with my works, which was going to therapy, or if that's for you going to therapy or seeking help from a different type of professional, that's your work. And that shows God that, okay, God, I know you're doing your part because I'm praying to you and I believe in you, but this is my part. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to step outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to get the help that I need because God created us all to help each other. And God created therapists to help us. So we all just got to lean on each other, but also, you know, making sure we make him the head, of course. But like I said, that is really the work. And also, you had mentioned, like, it's a you issue. It's the same with healing. When somebody do something to you, you don't have to take responsibility for them hurting you, but you have to take responsibility for your healing. You can't be like, well, they did this to me, they did that to me. You're going to forever be in that. At some point in time, you got to say, okay, they did this, but I got to be responsible for my healing. And it's a really big step, and it's very hard. And like when you in a journey, you like, well, I've got to do all of this because of them. But no, it's all about you now. How bad do you want to heal? How much that, and that also brings in self-love. That you're going to go to the mile of healing yourself and getting the healing that you need for something you didn't even do. So it's very big. It's very big.
Yeah, I like
good.
what you said.
That's
and
good.
It, I mean, that perspective, it covers so much because we that's so many people's belief is that, just go to God about it and then leave it there. But praying and asking for, let's say you got a sickness in your body and you praying and you believe in God for healing. That means you shouldn't go to the doctor? That means you shouldn't take medicine? Like, what if God wants you to have that surgery and that's how the miracle's going to take place?
The testimony as well.
Yeah, like, we really have to open our minds from this, like, I don't know what it is. I told y'all this story before, but I'm going to share it with the podcast fam, right? So, it's this story somebody told me, and I liked it a lot because of the message. So, there was this great flood. Swept through the whole city, right? So the whole city, everybody evacuating, because it's starting off low. So you got enough time. You might be able to get in your car, might be able to hop on somebody's truck, whatever. But people evacuate. You had this man that was living in his house, and people was telling him, man, flood getting, starting to rise. Like, you might want to come on. The guy said, oh, no, I'm going to stay here. God will save me. So the flood get a little higher. So, it's to the point where you can't necessarily ride in your car, but you got a couple people that done put together some rafts, a little lifeboat.
Right.
Man still in the house. They like, hey, man, this flood really starting to rise. You might want to come on, get with us. Right. No, I'm going to stay in the house. God will save me. So the flood gets so high to the point where it's getting, the house is up underwater. He a homie on the roof now. So they bring in a whole helicopter dropping down the ladder like, hey, you need to come on. This flood, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to come on. No, I'm going to stay here. God will save me. So he died. Like, he drowned and died. And so now he's before God, and he's like, God, I had faith. I thought you was going to save me. Why didn't you save me? He said, I sent you people with trucks. I sent you people with life rafters and little boats. I sent you a whole helicopter.
Just for you.
And so when they shared that story with me, it was so heavy because it's like, we do that. We will ignore all this stuff because, and I just think, going back to some of the stuff we already talked about, that religious mindset, man.
That's really what it is.
That stuff had you bound. Because what kind of foolish thought is that to see all these ways where you can get help and be like, oh, no, the Lord will save me. He will crack the sky and reach down and... No, he can choose whatever way he want to choose. And it might be one of these things that you choosing to ignore because you just, I don't know where you got that from, but we got to break that. We got to break that. We got to break that. I love what you said. I used to be one of those people. I did. My mind was not open to therapy, none of that. Go to God.
And also being black as well.
Man,
that adds on to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We definitely gotta, I dare say, be delivered of that mindset. That's a foolish mindset. That's a foolish mindset. God put all us down here, gave us gifts, made us creative. People that came up with all type of, it wasn't no heart surgery, and you know what I mean? Like long ago, like hearts, all these different things in place. God can use that stuff. Like, go to therapy, go see somebody. Like, please, y'all.
Now,
please do this stuff.
Ma'am, please, sir.
Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put my 2 cents on the end of this. When you do go to therapy, if you choose to, do not go to a non-believer and have them be your therapist, telling them that you can fix yourself and you can do these things and you don't need to do all the extra, religious things and practices. If you are a true believer, you need to get godly counsel, therapist, whatever you want to call it. You need to get that from somebody that's a true believer, because it's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's whatever. You're working against yourself when you are going to somebody that's not a believer, because it's not helping you. It's not helping you. And just to, kind of wrap up the whole, what is a godly attitude, it needs to be clear that you need to first be changed. You can't have a godly attitude without God. So I mean, it said right there, godly attitude. So you have to be changed and created into a new creature. You have to be to have that attitude. So and now we enter in the workplace, and most workplaces are they full of hell. They're full of hell.
They are.
And Don, we was on the phone, and you said something, and it made my walk different. I mean, I woke up the next morning, and I was feeling good. You know how, like, back in the day when I had hair, and I used to get a haircut, and I used to go to school.
Yeah.
So I used to get the fresh line up, go to school. Hey, look, ain't nothing changed but the haircut, but I get up that morning different.
Facts.
Like, hey, feeling good.
Facts.
Like, you on the bus.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't had no car. And we on the bus.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I can't wait to get to school. I got the fresh line up. Like, you feeling good.
Back when I had the waves, like, yeah.
Man, look,
yeah.
I'm telling you, mine was wavier than yours. But, so, and what I'm trying to say.
He tried to throw that in
And-
there.
and what
No godly attitude includes lying. But go ahead, though. Go ahead, though.
Hey, but what I'm trying to say is, you had said, having that godly attitude in the workplace is bringing kingdom to the workplace. So even though you working, in a hellish environment, you there for a reason.
Exactly.
So what are you gonna do about it?
Right.
Exactly.
Because you gonna complain for so long.
Right.
Like, you go home and you tell like the little stories. They wild up here. They did this. They said this. But then at some point, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do to change it?
Right.
Because you coming home and you excited to tell me the drama, but
Right.
did you save somebody?
Right.
Can I get that report that this person was doing this, and this, and they saved now? They
Right.
visiting your church now? Like, can we get that report other than you just complaining about the environment you in, but not changing it, even though you got the power to change it because you said you was created new and that you have a godly attitude? So, Dom, you brought that up, and you have some good stuff on, bringing kingdom to the workplace, and it really changed the way I walk. So I just want you to touch on that just a little bit, just about, being in the workplace and knowing what you know, being connected to who you connected to.
All right. I thought you was about to do me like a guest preacher. I thought you was like, maybe like 30 seconds or so.
Oh, man.
But nah. Okay, so
1 minute.
yeah, right.
Special remarks.
I don't know why you say 1 minute. It's going to be at least 20 of those now.
Yeah,
It was going to be 1
like
minute.
at the funeral, when you get them people the time to talk, we're gonna keep it to 2 minutes.
Oh, my
And
God.
Aunt Sally be up there going. I remember when she was 5.
Reminiscing.
Yeah, like save it for the repast.
Right.
But
And telling every story that's the opposite of who she was.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
It's
god.
this club story I got. Like, no, that's she was the head of the deacon board.
Look, quick sidebar, and I'm going in, but this always used to bother me. Like, it don't matter who get laid to rest, and the person get up there, and I know you can't get up there and be like, this person was full of hell, and that's where they're going. But it make you feel so uncomfortable, like, to just listen to the lie. Like, I know that we supposed to encourage people and all that, but we know Lil Main that was shooting at people and rob, we know he not going to heaven. Like,
For real.
to be absent from the body for him is not to be present with the Lord, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe that might rub some people the wrong way.
It's definitely gonna rub them the wrong way, but you have a delusional mindset if you think, and I always thought like this, if you think that you over here doing all this work, pleasing your father, on track, and you going to the same heaven with somebody that got 30 bodies and don't care about God at all. Like, for you to even sit up there and say he's resting in heaven.
That always made me feel uncomfortable.
Even as a kid, that rubbed me wrong.
Like, no.
Because nobody's going to talk about that.
Exactly.
We're not going to talk about that at the repast. Like, you might have one person that keep it real at some point. Like, it's okay, baby.
Right.
Like,
But that's like, again, that's just routine. Like, you just used to saying that. I don't think people really realize what they're saying. Like, he's in heaven now. And like, when people say that, and it's a couple like times when people say that about somebody, and I'm like, in my head, like, no, he's not in heaven now.
like that dude at one time, he said he accepted Christ.
Right. Remember he brought all them toys to the church? Remember that? For the kids.
All right. Godly attitude in the workplace. Oh man.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that was my fault. I brought it up. So the most important thing, or I'll just say one of the most important things to consider and understand about this godly attitude that we're talking about is that it makes you different. So you should never be in a place where what you do is like everybody else. It's a phrase that Bishop touch on all the time that people use as an excuse when we talk about things or to defend themselves. And they'd be like, well, we all human, or I'm human just like everybody else.
Right.
And as a believer.
You going to hell like everybody else.
And when I say this, I'm specifically talking to the believer. So if you're not a believer, we pray that you get there. Don't be hurt by this.
Right.
Our attitude is, I'm human, but not like everybody else.
Right.
So I want to read this real quick to kind of set the foundation for where I'm going with this. Okay, so Colossians 3, verse 22. It says, you bondservants must obey your earthly masters, not only trying to please them when they are watching you, but all the time. Obey them willingly because of your love for the Lord and because you want to please him. Work hard and cheerfully at all you do, just as though you are working for the Lord and not merely for your masters, remembering that it is the Lord Christ who is going to pay you, giving you your full portion of all he owns. He is the one you are really working for. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and, because you got to read the bad part too. And if you don't do your best for him, he will pay you in a way that you won't like. For he has no special favorites who can get away with shirking, is the word they use here. And I'm pretty sure that's the biblical version of shucking and jiving, getting over, finessing.
Okay.
That's what that means. So
cool. Thank you for
interpreting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, everything that we do is founded on scriptural principles. And this is actually something that somebody was talking about recently, and it really hit me because let's be completely honest, I ain't had no godly attitude at my workplace. I've been working there for 6 years. Ain't nobody ever got saved, been led to Christ, been told about nothing in all that time. And that's not to beat myself up because I am where I am now.
Right.
But, like I said, somebody was touching on that recently, and it hit me the same way when I told you it hit you, because it make you reflect on how you are when you at work.
Right.
Because what am I doing that makes me different? If I don't ever come to work on time, how am I different from everybody else? If I come in and the first thing out of my mouth is, I ain't doing nothing today, how am I different from everybody else?
Wow.
If we supposed to go to break and take 15 minutes and I took 27, how am I different from everybody else?
If anything, you worse because you know what's right and you know what you should be doing.
Exactly.
Not that you worse.
So what did you just say? People watch us, especially if we proclaim or we let it be known that we believers. Now, if you don't let that be known, you a closet Christian. Well, then they ain't want
I ain't never heard that.
Closet Christian.
Yeah,
I don't want to be no closet Christian.
Right.
I've been one before.
Right.
Been one before.
I'm glad you came out the closet.
Yeah. Yo, that's crazy. But
that's good though. I ain't gonna lie, closet Christian. That's
man.
Good.
Like, because there are many of us, we don't let it be known. It don't come out through our conversation, how we carry ourselves. Nothing about how we act would show anybody that at all, unless you say, "I believe in Jesus."
Right.
Like, but anybody can say that, right?
Right.
Like, so
walking that walk.
So, on top of everything I just said, like this verse just says, do everything as if you was doing it for the Lord. So it just made me start thinking, like, man, would I play with God like that? If I was on the job and he said take a 10-minute break, would I play with him like that? Like, if I was supposed to be doing this and I decided I was on, would I decide I'm only gonna half do it? Like, would I play with God like that? No, I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. And it just really made me ashamed of not only some of the practices that I had, but also some of the things that I was saying. You know, we had these things that we say and we don't mean them in no wrong way. Stuff like, you know, Lord, I really thank you for this job. You know, it's a blessing and it helped me pay the bills, but I'm tired of coming in here every day. And stuff like that. I've even said stuff like, well, you know, we all have our little stuff that we do in here. You know, we all got our little stuff we get away with. Like, I said stuff like that. And I just started thinking about all of that. Like, first of all, that's crazy. Like, what? How does that reflect what I just read if that's how I'm moving? So I had to make that shift. Like, okay, first of all, get up and get dressed because you're supposed to be up anyway. You claim you want to seek God in the morning, start your day with prayer. Get up. Get to work on time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, number one. Number two, do right while you there. Do what you know to do. Do what's right. There's no reason to not do what you're supposed to do. Because when you do get in that place where they are watching you, they do know who you are, they looking at all that little stuff. The thing about being a believer is that you really don't get to have a private life. It's like being a celebrity without the fame. People are always watching you. They want to see what you're going to do, what you're going to say, how you going to react to that,
Right.
how you going to take that. Like, your privacy is out the window, but you ain't supposed to have no private life. Your life is supposed to be on display. We supposed to be living examples.
Right.
Like, we ambassadors for Christ. We represent him. So you're supposed to accept that, and then you're supposed to walk in a way to where those things are righteous, so you're not ashamed anymore.
Right.
Because if you're doing what you're supposed to do, I don't know anybody that's ever been ashamed of doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's comfortable with who they are.
Right.
So, you know, that's some of the most important things is really understanding that I'm here to be an example. I'm here to show people what it's like to be Christ-like when I'm on a job. And this is the other thing. When you in these positions, when you at these jobs, you are managing somebody else's time and resources. When you manage somebody else's time and resources well, or you manage anything well, what you show God is, I can handle this. So I'm showing you I can handle this, but here even further for the people that want more, want their own, I'm showing him you can trust me with my own.
Right.
Because now, especially now, so many entrepreneurs and people venturing out to do their own thing, like, we want our time freedom. Like, we don't want to be working for other people. A lot of us, right? I mean, we're naturally created to be rulers, to dominate different areas. We have gifts and all this stuff, and we get stuck sometimes at these jobs, and we don't feel fulfilled. But you got to show God that you can trust me with this. Because you can get something that's for you. You can get something that's right at the wrong time.
So it's not an on-off thing. Like, you can't turn it on and then turn it back off. Like, at work, I'm a coast through and do what I do at work. But outside of work, I'm buckling down,
Right.
and I'm about my
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
So it's like this is a whole package. Like, it's a whole package deal. You got to be like how you are at work, outside of work, you know, and times 10 on that, because it's how you moving. You
Right.
can't turn off a godly attitude.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna lie, that's dope. That's dope, and I feel convicted. You know,
It sparked another fire in me too. Like, this was my first time
Right.
hearing him say it.
right. I feel like, you know, it sting a little bit here for me because I do those things. You know, I can't lie. I got to tell the truth. I'm the person that show up to work 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be there. Like, I'm hey, where's Sam at? Oh, he just pulled up. Like, I'm there.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, we got a little break. You got the break you want me to have. I got the break I need. So it's like, but it's like, you know, I can't lie to you. And one time I was like 20 minutes late to work, and I was in the parking lot, and I was in my praise and worship, and I'm going. I mean, I'm going the distance. I look down. I'm like, oh man, I'm real late. I had the nerve, the audacity to walk in, and when they looked at me funny, I said, I was here the whole time. Outside.
Yeah, we be bold, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Outside. So it's like, but you saying that and me saying what I'm saying, you know, all the jokes aside and everything, I'm really just trying to say, you know, we all do it. But we gotta make that shift.
Right.
We gotta make that shift because it's like we can't turn it on and off. And if we think we are turning it on and off, we are delusional.
Yeah.
So that's, man, I felt that.
Yeah.
I
Going into
felt
my
that.
work week differently.
Man, when you first dropped that on me, I walked into work a whole different, because the fact that we know that people watching us, and watching how we move, they don't know God yet. We supposed to be introducing them to God, but they not gonna take nothing serious that we saying if we moving through what we do on a daily, sluggish, you know, not taking it serious,
Right.
because that's all they know right now. I've been on the job for 10 years. All I know is this. So if I don't see you grinding in this, I don't even want to hear what you're saying about what you got to do for God.
Right.
You don't do nothing here.
Right.
So it's like, you know, they watching that step. So sometimes, you know, not in a negative way, you got to meet people where they are so they can understand what you got for them. Like, I got something for you, but some people, they shut off to it because, you know, how you moving.
Mm-hmm.
They lose respect for you. And once somebody lose respect for you, they don't want to hear nothing you saying.
Period.
So
Yeah, you
and-
done. I'm done.
They don't want to hear nothing you saying. So even when what you saying is right and it's profound and it's truth and it's God, it's like they don't want to hear it. And like I said, you know, just touching on last week, it's like you lose your credibility.
Right.
So it's like we got to keep that up. Like our credibility got to stay up because we got something in us. All believers do. Everything that we do is for God. And if we are not showing God's love and his attitude and the mindset, if we're not doing that all around the clock, 24/7, it's leaving room and holes for people to say, oh, well, I guess I don't have to do it like that.
Right.
You know,
Right, yeah.
I don't like people that, you know, proclaim God. I'm not gonna say I don't like people. I don't like when people proclaim God and then they live their life how they want to live it. I love God, I believe in God, but you know, everything I do is hell. People watching that. So then when people, you know, they make that turn and they flip, then they come into Christ and they think they can still do what they want to do. They don't know how to let go of nothing. So then when you introduce them like, hey, nah, we got to stop that. We can't do that no more. It's like, what you mean?
Right.
The person that I'm here, like the person that got me here, they do all that.
Right.
So then you gotta tell them like, nah, they doing it wrong. Like, and then you get to that perimeter where it's like, oh, you judging? You're not supposed to judge.
Right.
You're not supposed. God the only judge. God the only. And people love to say that. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I heard Bishop say this, and I've
Yeah, I
been
don't
running
want
with
God
it.
to judge
I've been
me.
running with it. I don't want God to judge me.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be my last. Like,
Yeah.
judge me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you don't like what I'm doing.
Before
I
I
ain't
get
moving
to
like
him.
God. Before,
Right.
yes. Only
It's like being a police officer, right? Like, you would much rather, okay, you speeding, you get pulled over. Sir, you was doing 30 miles over. Don't judge me. Don't worry about what I'm doing. How fast was you going?
Right.
Who are you to, like, this is the law. Like, you can't speed. I'm telling you that you speeding. You probably about to get this ticket. Now, if you really want to see the judge, we could escalate this,
Right.
see you in court.
He ain't gonna say nothing different.
You could stand before the judge,
Right,
like,
right.
if you want, like. But I think you would much rather have somebody say, especially somebody who's not a hypocrite, because let's cover that as well. If we gonna be correcting people, or if we gonna be telling people what God want, what He don't want, what's this or that, that's where that godly attitude, godly behavior, godly lifestyle support that. Because again, don't come talk to me about my drinking habit, and then when I come to your house, all the bottles that you drunk is on the top of your thing.
Right.
Like,
On display.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to make sure that we not hypocritical in nothing that we doing.
and understand that being a hypocrite is not making mistakes.
Right,
That
right.
being a hypocrite is doing something and then telling somebody else not to do it.
Like you ain't never
Yeah.
did it
Exactly.
before.
Right.
And like you ain't still doing it.
Right. And doing, you know, ing is you're still doing it. So don't tell nobody not to do something that you're still doing.
Right.
Now, if you done did it, you know, if you're struggling with it, if you're coming out of it, you're not a hypocrite. people got this illusion that like you have to be perfect to
Right,
tell me about
yeah.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like before you tell me I'm wrong, you better be right. It's like, no, I'm not right.
And when you said that, another thing is thinking that you have to be perfect to lead people or to help people and to get people to Christ. God isn't looking for us to be perfect. Like that doesn't exist.
I feel like it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
People don't want to change, so they start looking at you different.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
I talk to a lot of people where like you try to tell them something, and it's like, well, you do this, and it's like, yeah, I do, but we're not talking about me right now. I just need you to hear what I'm saying, and I receive what you're saying. Thank you for letting me know, but I need you to understand what I'm saying as well. It's like people get so tight and so defensive. It's like they miss what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't do that, and it's like, well, you can't do that. Okay, we both can't do that. Like, let's make this change.
Right,
But
together.
Together,
Right.
man. Yeah.
But
like,
every
yeah.
time somebody say something to you, you can't be the first person to say you do it or you do that. It's like you gotta learn how to receive. And the more I walk and the more I live my life, you know, by Christ, the more I'm not as tender when somebody's telling me something about myself. No matter if I know their life, I know how they move. I don't care. I know how you moving, and I didn't say nothing about how you moving up until this point. So I'm not gonna bring it up now. Like, because you telling me about myself, I'm not gonna bring it up now like you moving foul. Like, you didn't say I was moving foul yesterday or the day before.
Right.
Now you want to say it. Don't keep that energy to yourself and receive what I'm saying because you ain't want to say it. So it's just, you know, I don't know. People get real tender. And I think once people know you care, it's a different kind of feel when they're receiving what you're saying. But you have to allow somebody to show you that they care. People don't even let you show them that you care no more. Because it's like, you know, I don't trust nobody. Everybody out to get you.
Right.
Everybody trying to hurt you. So it's like, that's not true.
That's a survival mindset
Right.
instead of your living mindset.
Right. Everybody ain't the same. So, because and if you really want to dissect it, it's like that person that hurt you does not reflect every other person in your life. That don't mean somebody else gonna hurt you.
Right.
You not the person that hurt you. So if that concept goes, it goes the same for you too. So if that person hurt you and you gonna walk around like everybody else gonna hurt you too, then you might well gonna put yourself in that category too because you gonna hurt people too.
Exactly.
But if you different than the person that hurt you, know that it's other different people too. Everybody ain't the same.
Right.
So we got to receive things way better, and we got to, you know, we got to say things way better.
Yeah.
And that's the end I'm on. I've been struggling with that forever. My approach and how I talk to people. Because even though I love you and I'm saying what you need to hear, how I say it, even when I think about it before I say it, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna come like this, and they gon' feel me. But it's like it's still like, oh, you rubbed me the wrong way, you hurt me, and it's like even when you try, you still. But it's like that's just making a connection and knowing people. You gotta make that connection, and you gotta ask for more. We don't ask for more before we tell. You know, I was listening to somebody speak, and they had said, you know, when you're talking to somebody, and say I ask you like, how you feeling? You say I'm good.
Yeah.
That's not really giving me nothing
Why are you good?
because I don't know
What's
what good is for you. But if you ask me how I feel, like ask me how I feel.
How you feel?
You know, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now with everything that's going on. You know, in my life. You know, I'm feeling overwhelmed. There's a lot of things that's on my plate that sometimes I feel like I don't know if I can really manage it. And me saying that, what did that do for you?
Wants me to know more. So what is on your plate, or what is your feeling
Right.
of overwhelming? How does that
Right.
look for you?
You make that connection. So now you asking those questions, it's like you make the connection, and now I feel like you really care. So now you opening that, you know, for healing. You know, now you can say those little things, and I don't feel like you're coming at me.
But can I add another thing though? Sometimes when people vent or you give people the space to vent, they don't always want feedback. Sometimes what I'm learning is it's called unsolicited advice, where somebody tell you something and you feel like, oh, you told me, so you want my opinion. Sometimes we don't want that. We just want somebody to listen. So that's when you got to step out of yourself and you got to, okay, so this is what I say. And my cousin laughed at me. Like, we talk. I'm like, so did you want feedback or did you just want to get that off your chest? And then we just move on from there.
That's good.
It's like boundaries and respect of people's opening up to you, because if you just come in, but you need to do this, you need to do that, they ain't gonna want to talk to you no more.
Right.
And then you're gonna be wondering like, well, why didn't they talk to me? Or I didn't know they was going through that or whatever. You didn't give them the space and the opportunity to just listen to them and provide them what they needed, which was just a listening ear.
Right. People think you being sarcastic or you being smart when you ask a question like that. And I even was going to say, maybe people need to be more mindful of saying what they want. Like, I'm about to tell you this, and I just need you to listen.
Right.
That would help too, but at the same end, like, you taking that step. Like, do you want me to give you feedback or you want me to just be a listener? Like, both parties that's the best. Like, but, either one, it all worked good. But, that's good.
It's like you said, though, it's a you thing. So your mindset always going into and coming out of a situation is, okay, what's the best posture I can have? What's the best way to go about this? How can I do this differently next time? What can I do better? Like whenever I would have a disagreement with my wife at first, it would just be that frustration of, man, I wish she would just, man, I'm tired of. But when you had that shift and it's like, okay, what did I do in this situation that I could have done differently? Or what was it that I wasn't understanding or that I wasn't hearing? Or did I try to do too much and I completely missed what she needed from me? Mm-hmm. Like, so that's very, very, very important. I think that's one of the most important things, especially when it comes to listening.
Right.
Is determining why a person is telling you what they're telling you or sharing with you what they're sharing with you is number one, do you want feedback or do you want to just get it out? And then number two, I like this a lot, is if you are going to say something after they get done talking, is listening to first understand and not just to respond. Because you will miss half of what I said.
Right.
And I'd been done talking for 5 minutes and then you respond and be like, so what you saying is, huh?
Right. That's when you ever hear somebody talking, they be like, out of everything I just said, that's the only thing you got. And it's like, yeah, that's the only thing I was listening for. I was looking for something to reply to.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah. I was just waiting for you to stop because I already knew what I was going to say.
And then I zoned out after you kept talking.
So you might have smoothed it over, came back, fixed it, said something else, uplifted me. I don't care about none of that.
Yeah, I just want to say what I got to say.
When you had first started talking within the 30 seconds and you said this, you got me messed up.
Right.
Like,
yup. Ooh. Oh,
yeah.
You still on the first 30 seconds, you let me go for 10 minutes. Like, you on the first 30 seconds. Like, that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
So we really got to keep all these different things in mind. But I think the thing that, again, like I said, goes before any of these things is that example that we set. I think that's always going to lay the most groundwork to these situations where we're going to have these opportunities to speak to people. And we supposed to be infectious, right? We're talking about the workplace. When we go to an area that's not dominated by believers, which is most places there is no such thing as a Christian job. It don't exist. It don't exist. There's not, Bob Loves Jesus restaurant on Colerain. There's not, we only talking about the Lord bookstore.
Right.
Those places don't exist where you go in and every day, the board meeting, they praying and speaking in tongues, and that stuff don't exist. So here we are in a world-dominated environment where you supposed to go in and be a thermostat, right? Because we talk about that all the time. A thermometer takes the temperature of the surroundings, and then it reflects what's going on around it. So we get sucked into that. We go into the job, and if they are complaining, well, we chime in and we got some complaints too.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
Right.
But a thermostat sets the temperature, and the atmosphere changes because of what the thermostat is set on. So now, when I go in there and they complaining, I completely change the subject, or I bring something else up, and now it changes. Everybody stops complaining. Now they talking about what I set the tone for. So I go and work set on love. I go into work set on uplifting, encouragement. I go in there set on focusing on goals and dreams, whatever. Like this all just goes into, again, that godly attitude and really realizing that you are where you are in these jobs for a purpose. You yourself, you the believer, you the one that know God for real, you the one that follow Christ for real. So you going into this place where that's not going on, you supposed to be bringing that there through the example that you set by carrying out your jobly duties the right way, honoring different time frames and all of that. And then every opportunity you get, you sharing gospel with people, you sharing good news. And that's that breakthrough that we want to get to, and that change where we not ashamed to do it.
Right.
Where we had a confidence to do it. And when you get to that place, you start realizing that there's more people that want to hear that message and that's open to it than not.
Right.
Are you going to run into somebody that's going to be like, I ain't trying to hear all that? And
Of
they going
course.
to get tired. Oh, here come AK. Like, bruh,
Right.
stop talking.
Right.
She too positive.
Too positive.
Exactly. Right. Because you're going to have to answer for that. Somebody's going to ask you, why you always happy? Why you always positive all the time? Like, you're going to have to answer for that. And your answer can't try to just be generic like, oh, you know, I get up every day and do my stretches and whatnot. You know,
I'm just naturally a positive person.
Yeah, I just try to stay. No, you got to be real. God is in my life. Like, I am a believer.
Right.
I have the peace. Like, you have to start being upfront and start saying this stuff without fear.
Right.
Because how can you help somebody else get to that point if you too scared to talk about stuff? Again, that's why you at where you at. Like, in that place, there is no kingdom environment. There is no believing environment. There is no godly environment. So how can you be walking around with all this stuff in you, if it's really in you, and then go there and nothing changes? Nothing changes. And don't mess around and you ain't even the only believer there. It's just a bunch of y'all walking around and ain't nothing changing. Like, what kind of...
that's a bad look. That's a bad look.
You know what I mean? What kind of mess is that? I believe, you believe.
We
What's
all
up, my
believe.
brother in the Lord? What's up, my brother? Like,
Right.
and that's it? That's it?
That accent make me feel like you really
Right.
got somebody that talk like that at
Exactly.
your
What is
job.
that all about?
I'm sorry. That kind of... I don't know where that came from. It slipped.
Hey, let us visit Dom's job and somebody else. Hey, Betty, I'm like, oh.
We know who we done met you before. You don't even know. You don't even know.
I really don't know. Like, I really don't
Oh,
know.
man.
But yeah, we are where we are for a purpose. And here's the other part. And we'll probably tap into this later. So I'm just going to touch the surface on this. When it comes to, because I mentioned that we show God that he can trust us. So that becomes important when we want to advance or move on or move up or go somewhere different. Because God is not going to cause none of that to happen. And you have not secured what you were supposed to be doing on this level. You know what I'm saying? I say this example all of the time because I have children. A lot of them. Right? But if I promise my children ice cream, I meant that. I'm going to give them the ice cream. But I told them, you must complete your homework and clean your room. If you do not do those two things, don't come talking to me about what I promised you. I know I promised it, but I gave you work to do. Did you do what I told you to do? Did you do it right? Not sweep everything up under the bed in the closet because you think I'm dumb and won't look.
Right.
I'm going to look.
Right.
Not rush through the homework and half of it wrong. Did you do what I told you to do? Did you do it right? Did you do it as if I was there watching you do it? Like we this is totally different from the mentality that we've been carrying on these jobs all these years and then hop from job to job and you didn't bring God to this one, left that one because you wanted something different. You came over here. You didn't bring God to that one. Now you done left that one and came over here.
Right.
We're not
And
even,
God moving you. That's all God. God didn't like me here, so he moved me here.
Yeah, he
Like-
blessed me.
I was about to
He
say, even
blessed
blessing.
you.
Even
Somebody
say he
he
blessed
tasked you with work to do. He blessed you with somewhere else where you wasn't gonna do what he told you to do.
Now, get this. What's funny is I didn't notice until this point, until you just said what you said. You ever notice how when people say God told me to leave this job or he moved me from this job to another job, it's always worse. Like, you still doing the same complaining, but your complaining has stepped up a little bit more.
Because you make more money.
Right. You make right. God had to give it to me because I'm making more money, but you complaining more. You don't like it. And sometimes you wish you would have stayed where you was at.
Right.
The
Sometimes
money ain't even worth it. I should have stayed where I was at. Like, God ain't moving you. You moving yourself and you still not doing the work. That's I never looked at it like that. I didn't heard people talk forever about going to different places and, you know, it's not no better. But the reason why, like, it's no better because you're not making it no better. It's a you.
You here in this place for a purpose. Like I said, you supposed to be bringing God and kingdom, which we really gonna start getting into this concept of kingdom. But you supposed to be bringing this whole different culture from what everybody is used to. You supposed to be bringing it there and being a thermostat for that. You're not there for money. Because like we talk about all the time, there is no job that can pay you what you really worth. Do you know how valuable you are?
Right.
Can't nobody give you no amount of money to equal how valuable you really are.
You're never going to be satisfied. It's never going to be enough. That's why when you hear people can be millionaires and it's like they still hustling and working like they broke. Because it's like, I want money. Like, because you fighting for that. I mean, you need money, financial security. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, nobody ever gives you what you're worth. It ain't like you reached a point where it's like somebody done paid me this lump sum or I done got this and I'm good. No matter how much somebody give you, it's only good for, a week?
Right, because life
maybe the first paycheck, then it's, I need more.
Right.
This is not what I thought it was going to be.
Or don't get no more credentials added onto your name.
Oh, my God.
Then you really going to be like...
Right. Let me get that DR. Let me get that DR on my name. I'm moving different. I'm moving.
DR.
Oh, man. That's good. That's good. Having a godly attitude in the workplace is vital and it's important to our walk and to saving others. Without it, we can't do nothing. We can't.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, Miles Monroe said it this way. And he wasn't necessarily telling them to go in and say this to their boss, but you go in your job and you say, listen, you can't pay me what I'm worth. I'm just here to utilize your resources to be better and to sharpen, you know, some of my skill set. And while I'm here, I'm going to share kingdom with you until my time's up.
Right.
And that's the mindset every day. Hey, I'm here. You can't pay me what I'm worth. That's okay. I'm not here for money. I'm here to impact y'all with this kingdom mindset and help change some of y'all lives so that y'all can experience some of the things that's going on in my life. Right. Peace, joy, abundance, all that. And then I'll probably be out of here.
Right. I want to get in that cab, man. I told you, AK, that, you know, when you go your job or wherever you at, if you don't like it right now, it's cool because it's a taxi cab. And it's just taking you to where you need to be. So think about you being inside and the meter that's running. And you saying what you said today, Dom, it touched me in a way where now I'm like, I don't want that meter running forever. Because I'm not getting no work done. So it's like, go get the work done.
So you can get out of there.
So you can get out of there. The cab is still outside waiting for you. So it's like,
to take you to the next place.
To take you to the
so you can do it. It's a duplication thing.
Right.
You're supposed to come here, do this work. All right, people have been changed. Now the atmosphere is different. It's not hell no more. All right, I can take you over here because now I need it over here. Like, wherever that is.
Exactly.
And it's about expounding, you know, and I don't want to brag on myself or nothing, but when I first, I don't.
Say that, dear God.
I don't.
Go ahead, bro.
Right.
Go ahead and don't brag.
I don't want to toot my own horn.
What if I do say
But
so?
when I first got hired at my job, the supervisor was like, you know, you one of my best hires, and I love your energy. I love how positive you are. I love how you change how everybody else is. You know, from your loud laugh to your loud everything. It's like, it's just, I love it. And it's like, people already see it. And I just thought about that and I brought it up because it's like, when am I going to capitalize and build on top of that?
Yeah.
People already see it.
Yeah.
You already got people's ear. So now it's like, okay, they watching your walk, they watching your talk. They love you being a human, just a human person. But now it's like, make the separation and be that human on another level that's going to bring them up to the level with you and get them that relationship and that connection they need with God. So it's like we all, you know, them employees that's like you know, on that level. I know you are. I know you are. So it's like we got to build on top of that. I know anybody that's watching that's a true believer, they are. You know, when we go to work, people love us. It's very rare that you talk to like another believer and they like, man, people don't nobody like me in my job. People love us.
Right.
And it's like we have to build on top of that. We already got the ear. People love to talk to me. I separate myself and I be somewhere in my truck blasting some gospel music in my own little world. People walk up to the truck like, hey, what you doing? Like, like they want to be around you. So when they around you, give them something.
Exactly.
Give them something.
Exactly.
They already there.
Exactly.
People ain't you'd be surprised how many people walk away thinking that you was gonna give them something. Like, dang, I really needed like some uplifting. And I have my days. I ain't gonna lie. I have my days for sometimes I go on to work and I don't want to talk. I walk in sometimes 6 o'clock in the morning, and most of the time it's like I'm the loudest one in there. I'm saying good morning to everybody. I'm saying I love you to everybody, and I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time when I first got hired, it weirded people out. I work with all men. When you go in there telling a grown man like I love you, they're like, what?
You're right.
Right.
No, I really love you though, and I pray for you every single night, every single day. I pray for you. I love you. So when you go into work like that, and you know you have those days where you off, people notice it.
Yep.
What's wrong?
You good?
Are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just, you know, it's early. It's early, but and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's how much people.
You have an impact.
Right. People are like, not like I was lazy getting up to work today, but I knew I was gonna hear that fire alarm voice when I got to work. Where it's at. Right. Like, so no pressure that you gotta be that way every single day, but just understanding that people, they watch you. Not just bragging on yourself like they love me. Yeah, but what are you giving them?
Yeah.
What about the fruit? It's going all the way back to, you know, being fruitful and multiplying. The fruit on your tree, it's like, what are you doing with it? Like, at some point, you know, the fruit is going to go bad because you ain't doing nothing with it. Distribute that sucker. Like, so, man. Hey, look, I'm going to wrap up with this. Remember that having a godly attitude, you know, is not a turn on thing. It's not a light switch. It stays on all the time. And until you do what you're supposed to do and be who you're supposed to be who you're supposed to be in the workplace, you're never going to advance. Not there and not in the kingdom. You got to show God what you can do. Exactly. And you can only show him what you can do with what you got. So, do it. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.
He wants you to know that what's inside of you is like grandmama's greens. So don't give up. Your time is coming.